Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's such a pleasure to see you all again as we continue the emotional journey of CEO James and Deep. Two souls, once bound by a deep love, have now been swept apart by the unpredictable twists of fate. In the previous episode, James faced a devastating shock. He learned that Deep had gone missing, and it nearly crushed him. His world seemed to shatter as he desperately searched for any trace of her, yet she remained completely out of reach. Days turned into weeks, and with each passing moment, James was consumed by a growing despair. But as the search continued, little did he know that Deep, after being rescued by Officer Lee, had fallen into a state of temporary amnesia. Her memories, of James, of their love, and even of herself, became scattered fragments, blurry and incomplete. She could barely remember the face of the man she had once loved so deeply. Sometimes, she dreamed of familiar images, of a sorrowful gaze, a hand reaching out in the rain, but upon waking, all that remained was a vast, empty void. Would Deep ever recover her lost memories? Would she find the strength to walk back to the man who still waited for her, day after day, or would those memories stay buried forever, their lives diverging into separate fates never to cross again? Let's dive into today's episode, a chapter filled with new twists, where truths begin to unfold and hearts are forced to face the most difficult choices. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the upcoming episodes where love, memory, and destiny intertwine with every heartbeat. While Deep still struggles to regain her memory, James, torn between pain and faith, finds himself sinking deeper into a dangerous journey. Justice and crime are no longer clearly separated like black and white, and his pursuit for the truth becomes more perilous by the day. In recent weeks, James and Officer Lee have been meeting frequently in small, secluded cafes tucked away in quiet alleys. These meetings aren't casual chats, but rather discreet exchanges of vital information that James has accessed through his extensive business connections in the corporate world. As a seasoned CEO, James once worked with John, a man renowned for his successful timber export company in the region. Initially, everything seemed normal. But over time, troubling signs began to emerge. Mismatched shipment volumes, unexplained fund transfers to unknown accounts, and strange names appearing in the management system. After several discussions with Lee, James chose to confide in him. Together, as they reviewed the export-import records, bank transactions, and John's personnel files, a chilling truth began to unfold. The timber business, it turned out, was merely a facade, a smokescreen cleverly masking a massive international money laundering operation connected to a sprawling drug syndicate with its reach extending across multiple countries. Officer Lee, tense yet resolute, looked James in the eye and said, "We're coordinating with authorities in neighboring countries, but we're lacking crucial leads." You've had direct dealings with John, and your international connections could be the key. Help us dig into his past partnerships, the global shipping routes, even suspicious calls or vague names listed in those contracts. James clenched his hands on the table, a faint crease forming on his brow. He knew that stepping into this meant placing his own life at risk. But when he thought of Deep, still missing and possibly entangled in whatever John had been involved with, he knew he couldn't walk away. I'm in, James said firmly, his voice low but unwavering. I won't overlook a single detail. If anything comes up, I'll let you know immediately. Lee nodded, placing a hand on James's shoulder, not just as a thank you, but as a silent acknowledgement. From that moment on, James was no longer just an outsider. He had become a critical part of a covert battlefield, where the lines between right and wrong, life and death, were blurred into shadows. Later, as the golden afternoon light poured through the window frame, Officer Lee sat at his desk, carefully reviewing the latest evidence linked to John's criminal network. The intel provided by James had begun to reveal the full picture behind the facade of the timber trade, and Lee knew he was getting dangerously close to the core of the operation. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. A well-dressed man appeared, composed, confident, with a cold, calculating gaze. He introduced himself as Hugh, a prominent figure in the region. Though he held no official title, his influence stretched deep into both the business world and the underground. Without waiting for formalities, Hugh went straight to the point. No pretense, no euphemism, Hugh said. You're the senior officer handling the case involving John, right? Lee flinched internally. The fact that his identity had been exposed so early meant Hugh was no ordinary man. His mind raced through dozens of possibilities. Where had the leak come from? Who might have betrayed him? But outwardly, he remained composed. What brings you here? Lee asked, his voice steady. Hugh calmly placed a briefcase on the table, packed with neat stacks of cash totaling exactly 1 billion dong. I want you to go easy on John. If possible, clear him of the charges. I know that won't be easy, so if you need more, I can arrange it. Hugh calmly placed a briefcase on the table, packed with neat stacks of cash totaling exactly 1 billion dong. I want you to go easy on John. If possible, clear him of the charges. I know that won't be easy, so if you need more, I can arrange it. At that moment, Lee had a choice. He could be the righteous cop who refused outright, or he could betray everything he stood for. But instead, he chose a third path, far riskier yet far more decisive. He didn't take the money. Instead, he feigned hesitation and proposed a bold counteroffer. 1 billion isn't enough. If I'm putting myself at risk, I don't just want money. I want in. I've got the skills, the contacts. With me inside, your operation could expand faster, smarter. You need someone on the inside, and I'm that person. Hugh didn't speak for a long moment, his eyes sharp and watchful. Lee's offer was risky, but his cunning had swayed Hugh enough. After a long pause, Hugh nodded. It was clear. Lee had just stepped into the role of an undercover agent, not to aid the criminals but to infiltrate their very core and dismantle the network from within. Meanwhile, Deep, after a long time of drifting through life in a haze, began to regain pieces of her fragmented memories. The images that once flickered through her mind became clearer. She remembered James, his warm hand, his gentle gaze. But she also remembered John, and the terror of running from him. In a world filled with betrayal, Deep was determined not to let James be in danger because of her. And as she overheard a conversation between Officer Lee and Hugh, her trust in him shattered. She believed Lee might be working for John, a traitor masquerading as a hero. With her heart pounding, Deep made a decision: she had to disappear. In the stillness of the night, she slipped away, her heart heavy with love for James but a promise that she would never let him be harmed because of her. And so, Deep embarked on a journey into the unknown, unsure of where the road would lead, but resolute in her desire to protect the one she loved. Will James ever find Deep? Will their love survive the obstacles placed in their path? Stay tuned for more, and remember to subscribe for the next episode.